What is 11,445 days in dog years? That's a long mother-grabbing time! Welcome, fellow Kiss fans. Welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. And tonight, we are celebrating something that's taken 11,445 days, and it is this: the Hot in the Shade tour book. I've never owned this. When I saw Hot in the Shade, the tour books were not ready. I saw this show when I was 15, 47 now, and finally own the Hot in the Shade tour book. So I thought tonight we would wax a little nostalgia of the May 12th, 1990 Bonner Springs, Kansas show. Even though they called it a Kansas City, Missouri show, it was in Kansas. The classic Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas debate. I remember the day, one of those classic spring Midwest stormy days, and we drove down to Sandstone, was the name of the amphitheater, in Danny's Camaro, and really kind of feared for our lives. It was raining so hard. Camaros are horrible in any weather condition, and Danny's not a very good driver. It was very scary. I wasn't even able to drive at the time, so like I could offer him any assistance. And for us to venture from St. Joe, Missouri all the way to Bonner Springs, Kansas was a feat at our young age. It was just a very scary trip, and we got down there and still just horrible kind of off and on thunderstorms. But the minute Kiss got ready to come out, the skies cleared, and it was like a beautiful spring night. One of the most amazing concert experiences I've ever had. I know this sounds silly to say, but in a way, the Hot in the Shade show for me felt like I was experiencing the magic that kids, 10 years before me. I became a fan in '88. Only 10 years prior were the solo albums. And in 1988, something in 1978 seemed like a lifetime away. Today, you think about 2021, something in 2011 does not seem very far at all. I mean, it just seems like, oh yeah, 2011, that was yesterday. But back then, 1988, the solo album seemed like lifetimes ago. And of course, this is pre-internet age, and the only exposure, no pun intended, the only exposure I had to seeing Kiss live was Exposed and Phantom of the Park. I was fresh into the game, and this tour was huge to me and also huge to Danny. Danny was a fan back in the 70s, but this was his first time seeing Kiss also. And I just remember that experience that night being absolute magic. Not only did the weather clear for it and all the planets kind of line up, when that hum started, it felt to me like what a 70s show was supposed to feel like. And when they kicked into I Stole Your Love, I was such a fan of that song from Phantom. I truly felt the magic that a kid would have felt in 1978 seeing the Alive 2 Love Gun tour. It was just an absolute magical night, and I just remember being so bummed there was no tour book, because Danny and I had history with Brett's brother's Alive 2 Love Gun 77-78 tour book. Always looking at that in Brett's brother's closet. Weekends over at Brett's house, Brett, myself, and Danny would just dive into his Kiss stuff and always look through that tour book. Knowing we were going to a Kiss show, the tour book was a big deal. You know, just so bummed when we went to the merch booth and found out there were no tour books. The guy said, nope, not available yet. To have this tour book show up so many years later is just super cool, and it even makes the night a little more nostalgic, a little more magical. So let's take a look-see at the Hot in the Shade tour book. 11,445 days after I originally should have owned it. And this is just super cool. I actually have to remove a cushion from the couch to look at this, because this is, I believe, the second of the oversized tour books. Crazy Nights was huge, Hot in the Shade was huge, and Revenge was huge. I guess you could consider the 77-78 an oversized. It was pretty large as well, but actually smaller than the Hot in the Shade. And there you go. They are all the same size. Hot in the Shade would be the second. The more you know. Couple things I love about this page. I love the Keep On Rockin', very much written by Paul Stanley, you can totally tell. And it had that, remember his BC Rich ads from around Crazy Nights, where he would draw the headstock of the guitar? Totally has that vibe. And I absolutely love the discography pages of these tour books. And it was like a baseball trading card checklist to have. Like, I have Hot in the Shade, I have Gene Simmons solo album, and I have Love Gun, and I have Smashes. What else do I need to get? Okay, next time we head out to Video Exchange, we have to see if they have a Live 2 on compact disc. Those were our missions on Friday night. And then Saturday night, we would gather in Brett's basement and play Kiss records. And every weekend in high school was fun. Back then I thought, I'm a nerd, I'm not at the cool parties, I'm not living the high school life I'm supposed to. But looking back now, I was living the high school life I was supposed to, because I was discovering a band with my best friends, and a band that became my all-time favorite band, still with me today, 30 plus years later. That's nostalgia. That's rock and roll magic. That's the glory of life. Thank you for hanging with us tonight. Thank you for waxing rock and roll nostalgia. 11,445 days after it took place. That's the glory of this. If there's a glory to this page, if there is any fun to this channel at all, it is that. It is, as old men, we can step back in time and celebrate the magic of rock and roll, the fun of life. There's so much shit and negativity in the world. Here in the Wax Night basement, it is all about celebrating the fun. of being a Kiss fan. Thank you for hanging with me. Take care, be safe, be good to your babies, spay, neuter, microchip. We will talk to you soon.